Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to some more World of Warships, and today we are going to be taking a look at the Tier 8 Japanese split branch destroyer, the Akizuki. And she's an odd duck. I'm not saying she's bad, but well, you'll really have to see how she acts in battle. But let's quickly take a look at the stats. Survivability, you have 20,400, which is fantastic for a tier 8 destroyer. Absolutely fantastic. Normally, you're looking more around 15,000, so 5,000 more health compared to other tier 8 destroyers, which is just like downright fantastic. Then let's go ahead and take a look at the artillery, and this is where she is very interesting to say the very least. She has 4 main guns. Reload time is 3 seconds. Very quick reload time. Turn time is 9.7 seconds. Max dispersion is 85 meters. Max HE damage is 1,200 and AP is 1,700. And the firing range is 10.2, which is a little bit abysmal. But the shell velocity is 1,000 meters, so a kilometer per second, which is fantastic. But the interesting thing is the shell type size, which is 100 meters. And this is where it is very interesting for the Akizuki. Yes, she has very fast firing guns, but more than likely your shells will tend to either bounce or break. Firing HE against destroyers really doesn't always offer the most penetration value. You will see quite a bit of actual breaking with HE. So sometimes I will opt and recommend using AP. It will do a little bit better job actually landing penetration into destroyers. And if they angle, you have to switch to HE. It's the thing that's probably poor about her. If you ever get to the Akizuki, is your damage output is not particularly high. What I found, but well, you'll see what I'm talking about when we get into battle. Torpedoes, you only have one torpedo system, quad 610 millimeters. Sorry. Reload time is 112 seconds. Turn time is 6 seconds. Range is 10 kilometers, and max damage is 20,967 with a speed of 67 knots. So pretty decent torpedoes, especially since you do have the torpedo armament reload on it, so that will allow you to get those torpedoes out a little bit quicker. AA, it's Japanese AA, not particularly useful. You have 18 single 25 millimeters with a average damage of 32 with a range of 3.1. Then you have 7 triple 25 millimeters with a range of 3.1, average damage is 43, and then your main guns act as additional AA. Range is 5 kilometers with an average damage of 83. Maneuverability, she is a little slow, 34.6, and she does have the speed flag. I believe the top speed is around 33 knots, so she is slower than normal tier 8 destroyers. So you have that going against you as well. Turning circle radius is 730 meters. Rudder shift time is 4.6. And she is kind of I don't want to say she's a terribly big ship, but she is kind of a bigger destroyer than normal. I will probably admit that. Concealment is pretty decent, actually. 5.9. Same concealment as a Shimakaze. So you can at least, especially if you are in a tier 10 battle, you can always spot a Shimakaze when they spot you. So that's always there for your advantage. Detectability range by air is 3.6. So not bad. Now looking at modules, she is fully upgraded. So want to just go ahead and do that. When you first get her, she only has 15,900. Torpedoes will only do about 17,000 and are 62 knots. We're a little bit faster, but I would recommend getting the torpedo upgrade. It is very beneficial. Then the range is 9.2, which is downright abysmal. Definitely get the upgrade. Now, like I was saying, you can get the torpedo reload booster. That is actually what it's called, not what I said prior. This will activate reload in 5 seconds and give you another chance to fire torpedoes, which is beneficial since you only have one torpedo system on the Akizuki. As far as captain, my captain is still being trained. I want to try experiment with my captain whenever I eventually get him up there. I need at least another 2 more points before I can test this. But first off, preventive maintenance, last stand, obviously. You could go for expert marksman. This might not be entirely necessary. This only gives you 0.7 degrees per second. So you might actually opt out of this and just go for another upgrade, another skill that you can use 2 points. So I might eventually get rid of this. Superintendent and then concealment. What I was thinking about is getting inertia fuse for HE, which will increase the penetration value of your HE. So this will increase it by 30%. Since your shells tend to break on the armor of, say, destroyers, and then it's very finicky when you're firing against battleships, this might actually help you do a little bit more damage and actually get you to where you can do damage against destroyers and superstructure of battleships and cruisers. So I might recommend this. Eventually I will try this out once I get my captain up there. Like I said, I might actually just get rid of this, but that's pretty much going to be it. We're going to go ahead and jump into replay. I will see you guys there. Hello everyone, welcome back to a replay in the Akizuki, and you may have noticed that the battle actually has commenced and it's been going on for a little while. At this time I was actually, I think, rendering a video of mine, and yes, it was stupid and silly. I agree, but I think I was constrained on time, so I was trying to do both at the same time, so I joined the battle a little bit late. But we are currently playing on neighbors. We have a Bismarck, Tukanaisenau, Nagato, New Orleans, Otago, Stores, Grass Bay, Akizuki, Loyang, Arizona, and Kiev, which are dead. And on the enemy team, there is a Tirpitz, Colorado, Gneisenau, Nagato, Dunkirk, Otago, Chapayev, Leander, Z-23, Kagero, Hatsuharu, and a Miyoko, which is also dead. Now, the enemy team is in the lead as far as ships as well as capture points. They do have a points advantage. And coming down to the ship, the Akizuki, it's neither a good nor is it a terrible ship. Probably major things with her is her ammo, her 100mm ammo that she uses, which does have an issue whenever you're fighting against ships. Now, Z-23 does pop up, and this is actually a really good demonstration. The armor piercing generally does actually a decent job, especially against broadside destroyers like that. We just shaved off around 3,500 points of damage. Now, you do not get the damage to modules that you do experience. We do get 4 ricochets, and probably at this point, I would recommend switching over to high explosive. It would do a little bit better chance at doing damage as I do switch over. We do get an incapacitation, but you can see there we got actually 6 shells damage breaking on the ship hull, and that's kind of the issue with the Akizuki, that more often than not, most of your shells are going to be either splintering or ricocheting off the side of the hull, and that's kind of the big major issue with the Akizuki. Is yes, she does have a very fast reload time, and we are being detected by the hydroacoustics of the Z-23 since it is a German destroyer and does have hydroacoustic available for it, so it can at least detect us for a little bit until we get outside range. Now, the Akizuki issue is her shells. Almost always, yes, you have a very fast reload rate, 3 seconds on their guns. They turn pretty damn fast. The turning rate on the guns is pretty fast, but just the damage output is kind of iffy. It really is difficult to do high damage with the ship. Now, the Akizuki does have torpedoes, but it only has one central lined torpedo mount on the ship, and that can be kind of a pain as well, because since it's central lined, it's actually very hard to actually get the torpedoes off, since you do have to show a lot of broadside. Now, the Z-23 did drop torpedoes, and we are doing decent damage against the Z-23. we are able to donk out his engines, but you can see how quickly we are able to fire. The Z-23 just could not deal with that DPM, even though we got a lot of shells breakers. So if we take a look at this, we had 46 shell hits, 16 penetrated, 13 non-penetrated, and 13 ricochets. So about half the shells that we did fire did no damage. And like I said, that's almost the only thing you really do see with the Akizuki, is that with the small shells type that she does have, they don't always do a lot of damage. Now, we do see a Colorado. I do drop torpedoes, and I have laid down a smoke screen. I was hoping to at least help cover my friendly team that is currently sitting towards B. Now, we have come back. We are a ship advantage, but the enemy team still has B, and there is the enemy Hatsuharu does show up. And the detection on the Akizuki is pretty decent, 5.9, and I have no idea where those shells went. They went way off. Now, coming back to the guns, the arcing on the shells are pretty decent. They're not lazy like the USN or the German destroyers. We do take a hit, I think, from the Z-23. We do catch fire on the Hatsuharu, and we land 2 torpedo hits on target. I think it was the Colorado that we do actually hit. But the arcing on the shells is pretty decent, so you can land hits pretty certainly. It's not straight to target, and ooh, massive hit from that Tirpitz. And I'm gonna go ahead and drop another spread of torpedoes. Not likely I might actually be able to hit this, because at this time I did not pay attention to the map. I was kind of concerned on the Hatsuharu, and the Tirpitz is actually turning away, so not likely to actually be able to hit. Now, the speed on the Akizuki is probably another downside of this ship. I am currently running a speed flag, and also I do have engine boost. So you can see I'm getting up to around 37. The normal speed on the Akizuki is around 33 knots, 34 knots. So it's a very sluggish destroyer. Very slow. Now, I am coming around the smoke screen, hoping to catch this Hatsuharu, who may have been sitting in the smoke screen off guard, but we don't detect him, and we're not detected on the left-hand side of the smoke screen, so more than likely he has actually moved off to the right. Now, the Hatsuharu was actually probably hoping to get behind our friendly team and drop torpedoes and do damage against our team. So I'm actually gonna see if I can cut him off and see if I can take him out. I want to get rid of this Hatsuharu as quick as possible. So gonna quickly go through the smoke screen as quickly as possible, but at the same time, there's the Hatsuharu, and just FYI, these next coming shots are gonna be extremely bad, because I think I was actually having issues with lag, like that right there, way behind, even though I'm aiming way up, and we're doing a significant amount of damage against this Hatsuharu, and those shots are way bad. Now, he wasn't firing his guns, he was dropping torpedoes, and I'm gonna go ahead and get turned in. Should be able to dodge these torpedoes, and oh my word, those shots are terrible. But we should be able to take out this Hatsuharu any moment now. Just need one more hit, and there we go. First kill of the game goes to the Hatsuharu, and all that time while we were battling against the Hatsuharu, there was a enemy destroyer that was moving up northeast. I believe it was the enemy Kagero, more than likely. And, well, at this time, I was not really paying attention to that. I had my eyes set on this Tirpitz. He was the one that did a pretty significant amount of damage, and I want to try and get my revenge. Oh, boy. So, still fairly learning the ship. Misjudged the Tirpitz speed and my own. Now, the detection on the Akizuki is pretty decent, but he does have a spotter craft, and we are detected. Our AA was up. I do turn it off, and Tirpitz actually caught up with me, so I'm having to lay a smoke screen and quickly get out of the way as quickly as possible. Now, coming back to the torpedoes, like I said, are not bad. You actually do have the torpedo rearmament acceleration on the Akizuki, so you can get 8 torpedoes off in 5 seconds, so it is beneficial to have. Now, the downside obviously is whenever you want to get your torpedoes off, you have to show a lot of broadside, and right now I'm just trying to get myself some distance from me and the Tirpitz. I think this is pretty good, waiting for that spotter craft to actually leave the premises, and I'm gonna try to turn in and try to drop off a torpedo, but we are detected, but not by the Tirpitz. I wonder who we're detected by. Tirpitz knows we're here. He opens the salvo. German dispersion goes everywhere, as usual. Fortunately, we were able to dodge, firing our guns. Now, with armor piercing against battleships, probably what you want to aim for is going to be the superstructure. But there is the enemy hero that has been chased down by the Gneisenau and the Lo Yang. And I'm going to try to be a little bit tactical as best as I can. He is just being hounded by that Lo Yang, and he's going to be coming around this side, slowing up just a little bit, waiting for my guns to get turned around. And they, like I said, they do turn pretty darn quick, able to get the guns turned around pretty quick. Nothing compared to the Shiratsu. And there is the enemy Kagero. Open a salvo, armor piercing ready, do a fairly decent sized damage. Now, it's always it's really a bit iffy, but we are able to take down the Kagero. It's a bit iffy on what ammo type to use. I generally find armor piercing to do a slightly better job whenever dealing with broadside destroyers. But obviously the downside is you don't do the module damages that you can get with high explosive. But at least you get decent damage with armor piercing. So our team has come back, even though we did have myself, who was AFK. We are able to capture B. We're able to bring the ship advantage back up to us. And right now I'm going to focus my attention on this enemy Tirpitz. He was the one that did a significant amount of damage toward me, and I want to kind of pay him back. But even though he's a tier 8 and there's also a Nagato on his team, no idea where the Nagato is. Actually, I think he's down south now that I look at the map. Even though he's a tier 8 versus mostly tier 7 ships, I don't really foresee him able to pull a victory from the jaws of defeat. And at this time, what you should be aiming for is the superstructure on the ship. With your armor piercing, you actually can get penetration values on the superstructure, so do that, but I don't think there's anything this team can do. So this is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you like what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Zaijian.